Now, here's a thought process too. When you look old school, as sort of the traditional way of looking at safety, tell me if you think this is right. But the old school traditional mindset of safety is a blame type culture. And we don't like to think we do that, but that's really what our actions do. Somebody screwed up, let's blame them, it was their fault, let's discipline them, let's move on. Now there is a time where that's necessary and important, but that blame culture doesn't always fix the culture long term. And so when you look at that culture, it has to transition into an HP mindset where in that new culture, it's not a blame culture. What we're trying to do is identify the facts and understand somebody may have made a mistake, but what did we do to contribute to it or not prevent it ourselves? So really this last little statement, understand how and why the individual's assessments to those actions made sense to them at that time. That's the best question ever in an investigation. Why did it make sense to the person to do that at the time of the event? Think about that. Every time you have gotten hurt, how many of you have been hurt? I know we're in a group of safety people. You are on camera, so I promise that's my leverage right there. You got that, David?
I will always be the first one to raise my hand.
That's right. I bet every...
Anybody else, and I've been doing this 30 years, so just
That's right.
We have to admit it as safety people.
We have to admit it. We make mistakes. And so what we have to figure out in that new way of thinking is not to create the blame culture, but to how do we create the just culture? In other words, what was our role as a safety person, as a management group in that process? Now that touches us a little different because that makes us feel like, well, I can't control every move everybody makes. And that's true to some extent, but we've got to be able to set up systems that make it easy for people to make good decisions. Is that fair? And so the idea is that new mindset takes HP and moves it into a direction that helps help people make good decisions. Now here's where early on when I'd listen to these kind of talks where it would begin to lose me a little bit and it sort of begin to rub me the wrong way is the fact that when I think about somebody breaking a rule and getting hurt, my initial reaction is we got to hold them accountable. Now, do y'all feel the same way? And I still feel that way. But the reality is you have to look at that event with a critical eye and look at it holistically, meaning what is the context and did we really set that person up to make a good decision? And until we do that, all we do is correct the person and not the system that helped create it. I am 100% in favor of administering discipline when it's warranted. But I'm also 100% in favor of making sure the organization has done everything it's supposed to do. And so that's a hard leap when you're dealing with plant managers, project managers who are A personalities. Let's hit it and move on. And so the idea is that we've got to transition from an old way of thinking to a new way of thinking.